everyone, and welcome to Broke to Woke. I'm your host, Ann Marlin, and like you, I'm along for the ride with Jamie Langbine, a financial advisor with a passion for helping people of all walks of life to achieve their financial goals. Now, before we dive in, I want to be upfront. I am a proud ally of the LGBTQ plus community, and I'm really excited to introduce you to Jamie. Jamie's life experiences mean that her door is wide open to everyone, and she's very much aware of the fear and the anxiety that people can feel, especially when it comes to money. However, Jamie says it best. She doesn't get emotional about your money. She does get passionate about helping others to achieve those lifelong goals and dreams, especially when it comes to money. Now, in today's episode, we're actually just going to talk about Jamie's year. Jamie typically likes to focus on our clients that come in the door and wants to talk about them and their needs. But this is a great time of year for us to recap and hear about Jamie's personal and professional year in review. So let's go have a listen in. Welcome to another episode of Broke to Woke. We're here with Jamie and we're winding down the year, starting up into 2025. And I asked Jamie, hey, let's just do a recap. I'd love to hear a little about the world of Jamie and what you've been doing in the past 12 months, as well as maybe a little bit about what you are looking forward to as we go into next year. So Jamie, let's hear it. Let's hear how last year went.
Fast. I think everyone can relate to that, but it really did. It was a whirlwind of 12 months in very good ways. As we were, preparing to talk about the year, it's hard to remember how quickly it went. And I don't take a lot of time often on this podcast to share about me personally. And I ask clients, prospects to be very personal with me and share a lot of vulnerability and personal events in their life. And I do that in small group settings with my clients, but this gives me an opportunity to tell more people like what was exciting about 2024. And the easiest and most exciting thing is I got to marry my best friend.
Aww.
Yes. So in October, we got to have our dream elopement at Iris Isle in Winterset. It was the perfect day and exactly what we wanted. And now we get to experience the uniqueness of blending families. So it's been a learning experience, but that is definitely the highlight of 2024 for me.
Oh, it sounds like it was. It sounds like it was a wonderful day. And I can attest to the fact that the day in October was beautiful weather. So
it was perfect weather. We had, as many of the people as we could that are important to us. And that's a big part of what this year was the importance of relationships and connecting with people. And that did mean there was less of like the large group events, the going out and networking, if you will. Instead, it was the one-on-one conversations. It was the connecting with people. This was a year of a lot of change. For the almost decade prior to this year, my kiddos were in the same daycare. It was the same group of teachers. It was comfortable. And lucky for me, I got to quit paying daycare.
What?
I know, right? And instead send my baby off to kindergarten. And we both had a big adjustment, and sitting, 4 or 5 months into that, I think we can both say it's comfortable now, but it took some time.
And they're in the same school now, right?
They are in the same school, which has been nice because there's been very few times that both my kiddos have been in the same location.
Okay. Anything else on the personal side, or?
Beyond that, birthday celebrations, the big one being my dad celebrated 70. So I have a plethora of nieces and nephews. So normally it's total chaos. And we did an adults only celebration, which was mind blowing. Like we never get together without the kids. And it was really nice to just be able to be adults.
And to get to celebrate your father. How that is really fun to get to celebrate. Yeah, because you're his kid, but you're his adult kid. So I'm sure that everybody had a good time.
We did. And he's, a big part of why I am where I am. My skills, a lot of them come from him. And so it is fun to get to celebrate him and celebrate this phase of life.
Happy 70th milestone, Dad.
Yes, exactly. And beyond the personal side, this was a huge year for growth in business. And when I say growth in business, I don't mean just growth from the size of my business. I did a lot of traveling to conferences this year to learn how to better serve my clients. I spent a couple days up in Minnesota where one of our speakers really dug deep into how to create space for grieving clients. And we didn't just talk about grieving being death. We talked about grieving being the transitions in life, the job changes, the things that we don't think about we need to still grieve. And that's been a huge incorporation into my practice and how I approach the relationship side of things.
Well, and speaking of relationships, that's the interesting thing about the way you blend things is you're very purposeful, as you were saying about your personal relationships, but you do purposefully take time to connect with each of your clients. So I know that that was a big focus for you, having been your client this year as well.
Absolutely. Like I said, towards the beginning of this episode, my clients are sharing such a vulnerable part of their world. If we're not connecting on a level that's deeper than just the surface, we can't really dig into those things. And that does take time. And for some people, it's easier than others. And I'm here to walk that with people. And that is my favorite part of what I get to do.
Okay. So speaking of favorite parts, what are some other highlights?
The team expansion. So that was always part of my vision for my practice. And opportunities arose this year that just allowed it to happen naturally, which makes it easier. And so there's been a lot of learning with that too, because leading a team is different than leading my clients. And so it comes with struggles as well, but pushes me to learn more.
But, I'm going to say, I think it's very interesting the way you phrase that because, and I'm not going to say it correctly, but there's a great Thomas Jefferson quote about the harder I work, the luckier I become. And I think that that's just evident of your year this year because like you said, it was fast, but also you'd have put some extra time into being in your community and doing these different activities, which I think also helped with the growth of the team.
It absolutely did. And it's the intentional of the communities that I am involved in. So it is my LGBTQ family who had one of the hardest years in recent history. And it is intentionally connecting with that community and with those individuals and doing it louder. Because just connecting because I am a queer individual is not enough anymore. It needs to be more than that now. It's also getting more connected to my community around my kids' school. It's getting to know those educators, to volunteer my time, and to show up and be a face in their world as well.
Well, and having the pleasure of getting to be at Pride, it was a beautiful community to get to meet, and so great to get to offer, Jenny said it in one of the past podcasts of a group of people that have been underrepresented in the world of finance. So I think Jamie stepping into this has been a huge help for those individuals that need you to represent them.
It absolutely is, and it's about building those relationships and breaking through the noise, whether that noise be advertisements, whether it be, political noise, community noise, whatever those are, it's breaking through the noise, connecting, and me helping manage the emotion around the impact on finances for that.
Perfectly said. I totally agree.
Absolutely. And, that was really the last piece for this year is there was so much noise around us. And a lot of my conversations were around, there's a plan. We've talked about this plan, and we're sticking the course to this plan, even though there's a bunch of noise around us. And that was the majority of my client reviews this year, was just about, I know I hear the noise as well, and depending on the timing, talking about specifics around that moment, but also managing the emotions, making sure that, if goals have changed, we adjust accordingly, but really just managing the emotion around it.
Well said. And I appreciate, and to your point, I think this is a great time for advocates and for those in the LGBTQ plus IA community to all realize that we as individuals have not changed. We just have some pivoting and adjusting and staying true to ourselves. So for that, Jamie, thank you so much for helping us to stay the course of whom we are. But also congratulations on such a great year.
Thank you. It's a monumental year, and it's going to be hard for 2025 to top it.
Jamie's door really is open to anyone with your varied life experiences and background. And as you heard in today's episode, she strives through her own life experiences to learn, and through her continued education as well, to be a non-judgmental, helpful person. And if you'd like to set up an appointment with Jamie to learn more, then you could click on her post either through the Facebook page, her Facebook page, which is on Facebook, J. Langbine Advisor, or you can find her on faiowa.com, and she's under People. So either way, reach out to Jamie and learn more about what she can do to help you. This podcast is intended for general public use. By providing this content, Park Avenue Securities LLC and your financial representative are not undertaking to provide investment advice or make recommendation for a specific individual or situation, or to otherwise act in a fiduciary capacity. Guest speakers and their firms are not affiliated with or endorsed by PAS or Guardian, and opinions stated are their own. Jamie is a registered representative and financial advisor of Park Avenue Securities LLC, PAS. Securities products and advisory services offered through PAS, member FINRA SIPC. Financial representative of the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America, Guardian, New York, New York. PAS is a wholly owned subsidiary of Guardian. Financial Architects Inc. is not an affiliate or subsidiary of PAS or Guardian. 7008414.10 expires 11/26.